Good morning and welcome to St. Peter's Thought for the Day. My name's Paul Gray and I'm a member of the fellowship here at St. Peter's. You know, it always amazes me how real and relevant the Bible is today. It may have been written thousands of years ago, but often real meaning for today seems to just leap from the pages. I've been asked to share one of my favourite passages, and today's passage is one, well, that for me anyway, seems to do just that, jumping from the page with new meaning almost every time I read it. It's a well-known passage about a seemingly chance encounter between Jesus and a Samaritan woman, and you'll find it in the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verses 1 to 30. It's a longish passage, but if you want to read it, it's at the bottom of the screen here. Just press pause for a moment while you scroll down and read it. Okay, this is a story about Jesus on a journey from Judea to Galilee, travelling on foot. It was a long journey, possibly more than 20 miles, and Jesus, together with his disciples, were travelling during the day, arriving at a small village in Samaria about noon, in the full heat of the midday sun. It was a crazy time to make a walk. Most people would travel in the cooler early hours, or maybe in the evening. Jesus was a Jew, and he was travelling through Samaria, taking a short cut to Galilee. Jews wouldn't normally associate with Samaritans, so this travelling party shouldn't really have been there at all. When they reached the village, it was deserted. There was no one around, because of course in the heat of the day, the best place to be was in the cool of the indoors. No one with any sense would be outside. Everyone was in lockdown. Not lockdown because of coronavirus, but lockdown because of the heat of the beating sun. Only Jesus and his disciples were crazy enough to be there. When they arrived, the disciples went into the village to try and find anyone who might have some food. But Jesus, exhausted by the heat, sat by the well, and a Samaritan woman from the village turns up. She shouldn't have been there either. This rather unsavoury character was a woman in social isolation, socially distanced from everyone else. A rather unsavoury character perhaps, not because of a virus, but because, as Jesus already knew, a prostitute, a woman with many husbands. She felt a social outcast. She only came out when everyone else was in. She chose social distancing. A woman wouldn't normally be there at that time of day, and neither would Jesus, not in that heat. And neither would a Jewish rabbi talk to a woman, especially not a Samaritan woman, and especially not a prostitute. Jesus' reputation was on the line, but they chatted. And it became clear that, surprisingly, Jesus already knew everything about this Samaritan woman, this woman with many husbands. She was amazed. And she began to realise that this chance encounter with a man at the well was in fact a close encounter with the Messiah, with Jesus. For many of us, as we come through this time of lockdown, as we come to terms with social distancing, we may begin to feel lonely, unimportant. Our self-worth may be affected. We perhaps lose some sense of purpose. We may even feel distanced from Jesus. But like this woman at the well, Jesus knows every detail about us and our lives. And yes, even so, he still wants us to engage with him. He already knows us completely. The only question is, do we want to get to know him more and more? As we travel, not through the heat of the day, but through these difficult times, let's not socially distance ourselves from Jesus. Let's sit down with him. Let's get to know him better. And as our passage today says, draw on the water he gives that becomes a spring of living water, welling up to eternal life. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and have a great day.